Hello folks, in this video we will start learning about React Router from scratch. Because React doesn't have any built-in routing solutions, so we have to use external libraries, and the best option we have is React Router. So first let's take a quick look at the official documentation. This is the official documentation of React Router, reactrouter.com. You can also check it out, and this is a feature overview page. So let's see what they're saying. In traditional websites, the browser requests a document from a web server, downloads and evaluates CSS and JavaScript assets, and renders the HTML sent from the server. When the user clicks a link, it starts a process all over again for a new page. So what they're saying is that in traditional websites, different pages are in different HTML files. So when the user is clicking on a link, the browser has to load the HTML, CSS and JavaScript, everything. And the browser has to reload, and the process is also taking time. Now, client-side routing allows your app to update the URL from a link click without making another request for another document from the server. Instead, your app can immediately render some new UI and make data requests with fetch to update the page with new information. This enables faster user experiences because the browser doesn't need to request an entirely new document or evaluate CSS and JavaScript assets for the next page. It also enables dynamic user experiences with things like animation. So what is happening for client-side routing is that everything the browser is loading at once, and when we are clicking on a new link, it is loading the link instantly without refreshing the page. So this is very fast, and this is something that React Router allows us to do. So now let's go back to our VS Code and let's see how React Router works. So as you can see, here we have one simple React app, and this is only showing homepage in the function app component, and that's it. Now, first of all, to start using React Router, we have to install React Router, and we can do that by writing npm install React Router DOM at 6, because this is the version 6 of React Router. Now it will take some time to install, and meanwhile let me just add few more components in our app. Okay, it's already installed, so let me rerun the application, npm run dev. And so what do we want in this app? First of all, we want few more components. So let's create a new component and let's name it games, and we will simply return let's say games page. That's it. And let's also create few more components. Let's name this one shows, and for the last one let's name this one as about. And also we want to create another home component, and we will simply return homepage, and in app, instead of returning homepage, we will return the home component. Yeah, so our app works now. So now the question is, how can we use React Router to route to all of these components? So first of all, I have to import few things from React Router, and we are destructuring over here from React Router DOM, the third one. And now, before we are using React Router, I have to go to my main.jsx file, and here I have to import browser router from React Router DOM, and I have to wrap my app in this browser router. Now we can use React Router. So I have come to my app.jsx file. So what we will do now? So we have imported routes and route. So let's see how that works. So in the app component, first of all, we will take routes, and every route should be inside this routes. And this route is nothing but an information, and we can write like this route, and here we will write one path. So this is the base path, which is this one, and we will here write one element, and this element here we can write anything. So let's say h1, this is the app component, and when we refresh, we see that this is the app component. And instead of writing this h1 and anything, we can also pass components. So what we want to pass here, we want to pass here the home component, and yeah, that's it. So now instead of home, we can create few more paths, and we can also pass these things. So after the home, let's pass the games over here, and then shows, and lastly the about. and here also we will change these components. So this one will be shows, okay, the above one will be games, and the last one will be my about component. Yeah, so now in my browser, if I go to shows, I get my shows page, and if I go to, let's say, games, I go to my games page. So now changing routes using this browser, like using the URL, it feels odd. So now we will add one more thing, and that is called link, and using this link we can directly click and navigate. So before we do something with the link, let's first create one navbar. So I will create another component called navbar where I will keep all my links. So let's name this as navbar, and I want this navbar to be present everywhere. So let's return first of all something. Let's return an empty, and here h1 navbar. And because I want to use the navbar for every routes, I will declare this navbar at the top. So here I want to pass my navbar, and it is throwing one error because in React we have to wrap everything under one single div or this empty braces. Yeah, so now in my games page I have my navbar, and in any other page I will be having the navbar. So if I go to my base, I have my navbar. So instead of writing this navbar, I want a real navbar. So let's write the code of here. So first of all, let me create one class name of navbar, and inside this class name, what I want in the navbar. So in the left hand side I want my logo, in the middle I want all these buttons, that is game, shows and about, and in the right hand side I want a sign in or login page, like login button. So how can we create that? So first of all, here I will create all my links. So I have imported the link, and here, like for normal HTML, we used to use this a tag and href. So instead of href, we will here use link. So I will write link over here, and here the link has 1 2, and this logo will have the 2 to my base page, and let's give a class name as logo. So I got this one, and then next we have my the buttons, this games, shows and about. So for this one I will create another class name of links, and here I will create 3 links, and the first link will be it will go to my games. Now the second will go to my shows, it will go to my shows, and the third will go to my about. Yeah, that's it. And lastly I want my sign in. So after this div I will create another link, and this link will go to a page called sign in, and let's also give a class name to this one, and let's name it as sign in. And we also need to create the route for this one. So these routes, as you already know, these are only information. This doesn't do anything in itself. It is only giving us the information that these routes exist. So I have to create another sign in component also. So let's create a sign in one. So in place of about, let's make this sign in page. Yeah, so now I have all of these things set up. Now I have to give some styles to the navbar so that the navbar is visible. So let me go to my app.css file, because I'm taking everything from there, and let's start with my navbar. So I have my class name of navbar, and here let's give one background color of, let's say, dark violet, and I see nothing because I have to give some height. So let's give a height of 60 pixel. So I see my navbar, and now I can see that I have some margins, and this margin is actually coming from the body. So in the body I will give the margin as 0, and let's also change the font family to something better. Let's use this one. Yeah, okay, let's give Cambria. I also like that one. Yeah, this is good. And now what do we want more in the navbar? Okay, one more thing is that I don't see any links over here because I have not written any names for the links. So after this links everything, here I have to write my logo. Here I have to give my link for the games, then shows, and lastly about. And also in the sign in I have to name it sign in. So now we have everything, but these are in vertical format. So to change to horizontal I will use display flex. And also one more thing is there, that all of these things are, it's not looking very good. So what we want to do, let's first give the color of white, and still it's not looking good. So what we can do is all of these links are actually different A tags. So for all A tags I want to give text decoration as none, and I want to give color as inherit. So everything will get the parent color, and that is white. So I can now remove this. Okay, not this one. I have to give the parent color as white, otherwise this will be black. So what is happening over here is this navbar is the parent and color inherit means it will add up the white color. Yeah, that's it. And also we have done the flex. I want to increase the font size, so let's increase it to 1.5 rem. Yeah, now I will do one justify content space between. Now this looks good. And also what do we need to do more? I will give some padding at left and right. So I will give the padding as, let's say, 0 pixel, that is for top and bottom, and 15 pixel, that is for left and right. Yeah, this is good now. And also for the game shows and about I have my links, and I will do one display flex over here. And because I want to do one gap, and how much gap, let's give 10 pixel gap. Yeah, that's good. And also these things are not at the center, so I will do one align item center. Yeah, now this is good. So yeah, our nav bar is done. Now the thing is whether this works or not. So what we have done here, so if we click on games, as you can see, it is going to the games page in an instant. And if I click on sign in, nothing is coming. And why is that? That is because I have not mentioned the sign in path over here. Yeah, now it has coming to sign in page. So as you can see, this is changing pages in an instant. So this is the magic of React Router. And lastly, one more thing I want to discuss, and that is, let's say in place of sign in or all of these things, I have something that is not present. So let's say A. So this link doesn't exist. So when I click on it, what will happen? I'm getting nothing. So what I want to do here is I want to show an error page. So what I will do here is I will do route, and I will give the path, and here I will give star. It means it is pointing to everything, and I want to give the element, and I want to give one error component over here, error, and yeah, that's it. And then I will close the route. So now what happens when I go to my A, and I also have to create this one. So after sign in, let's create one error page, error. And what do I want to give in the error page? I want to give 404 error. So let's close this thing, and let's do return, and here let's give one class name of error, and inside this error I want h1 404, then let's say h2 page not found. So you can see the error page is over here. And also let's just give this h1 and h2 in the center. So let's say h1 comma h2 h3 is I guess not there, but still we can keep at center. Yeah, that's good. And lastly, also I have my error page over here, and let's give a button to go to my home page. It has a logo icon, it can click and go to home page, but let's say they don't know what each icon does. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, but let's give one button. So here I will add another link, and here I will give the 2 to my home page, and let's give one class name of btn because I want to style this link also, and let's send them to home page. So home page is coming at the side, which is definitely I don't want. So I will go to my app.css, and what can we do? So I have made one class name of error. So I want to style this, and I want to do display flex, and then flex direction column, and then what can we do? Justify content center, JCC. Okay, not this one, because we are using flex direction column, so we have to do align item center because the direction has been changed from row to column. Yeah, now this is good. And also I want to remove the margin only for the H1 that is coming under this error. So margin bottom I will give 0. Yeah, now this is good. And lastly, for the BTN, let's give a good button. So let's keep the background color as blue violet, and that's not all. I have to give the color of white. Let's also give some padding of 5 pixel, 10 pixel. Yeah, let's increase the font size to 1.25 rem. This is much better now. And let's give some border radius as 10 pixel. Yeah, and also let's give one BTN hover, and when I'm hovering I want to change the background color to dark violet. Yeah, so now when I click on this I go back to my home page. So yeah, as you can see, so all of these links are very snappy, and this is all because of React Router. So let's give one footer and close this video. So also one more thing which is very important, and that is we can basically give all of these components in a separate folder. So in SRC, let's create another folder called pages, and where I will add all my components. So right now I have what are the different components that I have? I have home.jsx, then I have my games.jsx, then I have my shows.jsx, and I also have my about.jsx. I will also add the error.jsx, then navbar.jsx, footer.jsx that we will add, and lastly also the signin.jsx, signin.jsx. And in place of doing these things like this, let's just keep everything in the separate pages. So in the about.jsx I can write one shortcut over here, RFC, and it will do everything related to the about, and what we will return is something under H1, and that is about page. Yeah, in the error.jsx also let's do RFC, and this is more complex code, so let's copy from here whatever we have written in the error, this whole return part. Let's simply copy. Okay, I have to do the whole return. Yeah, so I believe you can do all of these things. Let's not waste time over here. And how can we import these things? So let's say I have done for the about and the error, so we can simply import it like this. We can import about, and it will do automatically. It is importing about from pages.about, and import, let's say, error from this part. Okay, it is throwing error, and that is because, let's see what it is saying. The lazy programmer something simple identifier about has already been declared at line number 54, so I have not deleted the about. Yeah, that is the issue. So now it will work fine. So I can go to sign in, I can go to about, and this works perfectly fine. So now when I'm saying footer, let's see what I want to say, and that is I will simply make one footer at the bottom. So let's create another component called footer, and here what I want to do, I want to return something, return, and here first of all I'll make one class name called footer, and inside what I want basically few things: contact us, and h2 is, let's say, some email abcd1234@gmail.com. you can mail here and see what's the response, and lastly one phone number. For any queries you can call here 98765 43210. Yeah, If you have any queries, like feel free to call or mail, no issues with that. And lastly, we want to just import our footer over here. And this is not definitely what we want it at the bottom of the page, so we have to give the proper styles. So I will come here, and for the footer, what we can do, so let's first of all, in the footer section, let's give a background color of dark violet, but this doesn't solve the issue actually. Okay, first of all, let's just style it, and later we will check how we can give the correct position. And that's all we want for the footer. So how can we actually keep it at the bottom? And that is, when I am in my JSX file, that is app.jsx file, so I have all my routes over here in between navbar and footer, but what I want is all my routes should be inside another class, and let's name that class as body section. And inside this section I have all my routes. So basically this about page is inside this body.section. Now when I go to my app.css file, I have to take my body.section, and what do you think I should give the style? I should simply improve its height, and that is, let's give the height as 70 view height. And yeah, this is the kind of footer that we want. So now let's test all the links once. So logo is fine, home page is working fine, games page, shows page, about page, sign in page, and also the error page. Okay, error page is now having some issue. And why do I have an issue? Let's check once. So I have my app.jsx file. Now there are so many files, I'm getting really confused. So I'm importing the error from pages.error, which is absolutely fine, and this is asking these things, and okay, yeah, so you got the issue, right? What is the issue? And the issue is that I'm using link in the error page, but I have not imported link, so I have to import link here, and now the error page will come. So I can click on home page, and now all my links are working perfectly fine. So yeah, that's it for this video. Actually there are more things to React Router, but we will cover those in some later video. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.